guys, it is Angela with Word and Home. Come on in. Happy Thursday. Hope everybody's having a good day. Hope you've had a good week. We're wrapping it up. If you don't see the red like button up here, then you are catching me on replay. So just make sure you put hashtag replay in the comments. And remember, if you're on replay, you can fast forward. So, you know, if you want to fast forward through the beginning where I'm saying hi to people and before we get started, you can go ahead and do that on the replay. But if you're helping on live, make sure you say hello to me in the comments. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me something good about your day. Just say hello. Hey, Rhea. Okay, I'm going to pull up my video. Got a hair in my face. Okay, so I can see everybody's comments. Okay, here we go. Okay, how's everybody doing? How's everybody making it in this heat? My husband and I were just talking about this. We have had so many 100 plus degree days, and there's no sight in the end. It's going to be hot next week too, so we are just trying to stay cool. I hope all of you guys are too. Maybe you're having nicer weather than us. Oh, good, Rhea, you're getting rain. Send some our way, friend. Send some to Oklahoma. We need some in a bad way. I know a lot of people do too. I'm glad you're getting some. Okay, so because it's so hot outside, I've been doing some extra crafting, and I found, I wanted to do something for fall today, so I was in Dollar General, you guys, and I found, and I've already tried to sand it a little bit, that's why it looks like that, but I found this little board, and I just loved the shape of this. It's shorter, but I loved it, and it was $5, I'll hold it up there for you to see, $5 at Dollar General. And so we're going to be using this today to make a really sweet little scarecrow. Oh gosh, Patty, you've had rain for 6 days as well. Well, I'm glad you're getting some rain. I'm so glad you're getting some. We'll take some. So if you just want to send it on down, send it our way. We would love to have it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make this a scarecrow. So we're going to put a face on the front of this. So I'm just going to, this Let's Eat, I'm just going to sand that off. And my Dollar General had two different, sorry you guys, I've got like a hair in my eye. They had two different colors, and then they had, you know, different things on the front that they would say. I just grabbed this one because it was a lighter color and it'll be easier to cover. Hi Karen, hi Michelle, hey Dawn. I know, oh gosh. I don't know, Dawn. I don't know how they're handling it because I went out there. I had to go. I needed a piece of scrap wood. So I went out to our shop, and there's no air or anything in there. And just in there for 5 minutes to find this piece of wood, I was almost just drenched. So bless their hearts. I hope they're drinking lots of liquid and staying cool. I think about people that have to work outside on days like this. I think about roofers. And just, my son-in-law has to work outside. It's just so hot. I always pray that they're all, you know, able to stay hydrated and maybe take breaks. Thank you, Rhea, for sprinkling. Hi, Dawn. Okay, so we're just going to sand this first, and then we're going to paint it. But I've been watering, I water my back flower bed. I water that in the evenings and in the morning. So it gets watered twice a day. Just trying to keep it, you know, keep it alive. It's doing really well, but it's a lot of work. You got to keep it constantly, keep it watered. And the grass too, for that matter. Okay. So I'm probably not going to get this completely sanded off of here, but I just want to sand it down some. I want to knock off, you know, the darker wording there. I'm glad you're getting cooler weather, Rhea. I did see where we broke a record in July for heat. That's not a record you want to break. Okay, this is coming off pretty easily. Just do it over a trash can. When I bought this, I figured this would sand off pretty easily. And so I didn't think it would be much of a problem. And it's not. Most of it's coming off. I mean, you've got a dark spot, but we're painting over that, so it's going to be just fine. Okay, I'm going to get this last little edge right here. Okay. And then we'll wipe that down. Get off my chair. Okay, so we're left with something like this. Okay, now I'm going to paint it with a little bit darker, my Waverly Ivory. Hey, Amanda. Hi, Carrie. On vacation in Utah. Where are you in Utah? We love Utah. 111 with heat index. I believe it, Karen. It's crazy. We sometimes I like to walk, and like I got up this morning early and got my walk in. But after I eat dinner, I like to walk just a little bit. And even in the evenings when the sun's going down, or it has gone down, it is still so hot, you guys. Still so hot. So my treadmill has been getting some extra steps, because man, there's some days I just can't make myself do it. Okay, the way you don't have to use chalk paint, okay? You can use whatever, but this one covers really well, so that's why I always use it. So we're going to just paint probably the whole thing. I'm just going to give it a good coat. My paint is getting a little bit thick, so I'm going to need to thin this out pretty soon. Okay. Does anybody have plans this weekend? Unfortunately, not any outdoor plans because it's so dang hot. We talked about maybe going to the lake, but I don't know. It may be even too hot for that. So what's in it? What's everybody else got going on? You guys that are getting some rain, you might be able to get out because maybe it'll cool things down for you. Okay, so I'm going to show you something. I'm not going to do full coverage. I don't know if you can tell. I mean, I did pretty good coverage, but the color that was here initially, I'm just going to kind of let that stand out on the edges. It's not that noticeable, but it kind of gives it a nice little distressed look, maybe. Is that the wording? I'm not sure, but I like it. I like that look. It almost looks like a piece, you know, that's been painted multiple times, you know, different colors. So I kind of like that. It's working with me, so I don't have to worry about getting just that perfect coverage. Okay. Okay. And I don't think I'm going to do the sides because I don't think that this color change is noticeable enough. So I think we'll just do the face of it. We'll do the top here. Okay. That was easy enough. So this is what we're left with. Okay, it's not, you can look at that ivory color and then the side. It's not a huge difference. Okay, so that's pretty easy cover. If you just hopped on, this board came from Dollar General for $5. And it's over by the picture frames. And it was at my Dollar General. I think they're probably all pretty much set up like that. But this one was over with the picture frames and things. Okay, Park City. Oh, we love Park City. Oh, he lives in Orem. That's awesome. Yeah, Rita lives there in West Valley. I'm glad. Hi, Kathy. I'm glad you hopped on. Glad you were able to catch me live. Hi, Diane. We I don't think we're going to end up going to the mountains, but my husband likes to go to the mountains in the fall. We usually try to take a trip, and that's where we went last year. And then sometimes we go to Colorado, but we really enjoyed Utah a lot. And it's nice and cool in the mountains. Okay, so let's dry this down. And then I will set this aside, and this is going to be a little scarecrow. So what we'll do is we're going to put this piece of scrap wood across the top, okay, like this. It might be a little long, but hopefully not. Across the top, and we're going to make it like like this will be the brim of his hat, okay? Hi, Brenda. Thank you for sprinkling. So while this dries, we're going to take this and we're going to paint it, and I think I'll crackle this. Hi, Nadine. It is very interesting, and I hope it turns out. I think it will. I think it's going to be really cute. I hope this is not too long, but we're going to give it a try. Now, I'm going to use my antiquing wax to darken this because I want to crackle it. So, and we'll crackle it. The top coat will be our ivory. But when you crackle, something's got to pop through, right? You got a color underneath. And so we're just going to stain this board. So it's just going to be dark. And that dark color is what will pop through. Just in case you're wondering why I'm going to do this, if I'm going to crackle it. Okay. And this is not a super dark color. This, I really like this Waverly antiquing wax. It's a nice, soft, almost like a chocolate brown color. So I like to use it. Not as dark as some of my stains that I use. It's a little more subtle. Is everybody excited for fall? I think I said this well, was I on last week or did I miss last week? I think I missed last week because I wasn't feeling well. But I think one of the last times I've been on, I was talking about how I'm a summer girl and I love summer, but this heat this year has just really got me. So I'm kind of getting ready for fall. I'm sad. What I don't like about fall and winter is when it gets cold and all my flowers die. But you know, the colder temps where you can sit outside around a fire, that sounds really nice. Oh yeah, Rhea, those miniature cutting boards are perfect for scarecrows and snowmen. They're so cute. Temu size. I haven't seen those. I usually just get the ones, you know, from Hobby Lobby. But you can get a lot of stuff on Temu. Okay, so we've got that stained. Let's dry it just a smidge. And then we'll do our crackle. Now we'll have a long crackle. I'm going to try to get a nice, long, maybe smaller crackle on this. We'll see. And if you don't have scrap wood like I do, like out in our shop, if you don't have that, you can get pieces of wood at Dollar Tree. And I don't think Walmart does, but I know that Dollar Tree has smaller pieces of wood that you can buy that would be great for things like this. Dawn, fall can't come soon enough. I know, it's been hot, hasn't it? It's crazy. And maybe it's just because I'm getting older. I don't know, but this heat this year just seems especially bad. Hi, Diana. September to the 1st of December. Yep. I know I like to decorate for fall too. But I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I skip over fall because I get so excited about Christmas. Okay, we have our stain. So we need to add our glue. Sorry, I'm talking and my brain is not working with me. So I just use plain white Elmer's school glue, Okay, we're going to put a nice layer of this on, and then we're going to put a layer of our paint on top of it while it's still wet. But I get so excited for Christmas. Sometimes I don't decorate for fall like I should. And this year I'm going to try to slow down. Okay, I'm not gonna use as much glue as I usually do. I'm gonna try to make my crackle a little smaller. And so I think I'm gonna try to stick with thinner layers. But anyway, back to fall. I'm going to try to do better this year and just enjoy it. Slow down and enjoy it. The problem here in Oklahoma is I feel like, and I think most Oklahomans would probably say this, our fall doesn't last very long, nor does our spring. It's like almost like a week or 2 weeks, and then it's like, boom, we're going to winter. So I wish it would stick around a little bit longer, you know, and not get so cold. So maybe we'll have a longer fall. Okay. See how I'm just going one way with my glue. Okay, I try not to go back and forth. I'm brushing it one way. And then I'm going to try to do my paint the same way. And again, you could use acrylic paint. You don't have to use the chalk paint. That's just what I have. Okay. I'll try to get a good amount of paint on here. And just brush my paint like this. Put a little to here. Okay. Get off those edges. Just doing the face of it. Okay? It's probably kind of hard to tell, but I've got my paint, a good layer of that on top. And then I always like to add heat. You can let it dry naturally, but I like to watch the process and watch that crackle up here. You get, Diana, you understand. Okay, yep. Is it the same for urea? It's like, why is, well, good, Nadine. I love to crackle. I don't know. I mean, I like summer, but I like spring and I like fall. And I think a lot of people like spring and fall. It's just the perfect, it's, you know, always like the perfect temperatures, but they just don't want to stick around very long. Okay, so we're going to add our heat. I'm going to hold it up here and see if you guys... Now you don't want to get your heat gun too close. This one gets really hot, so it will make my paint bubble if I get it too hot or too close, so I try to always keep it moving. See the crackle? Okay, it's really starting to show now. Okay. So you can see all of our crackle popped up there, and you can see that brown kind of popping through. I think that turned out pretty good. Don't want to see any bubbles. Sometimes, like I said, if I get my heat gun a little close, it bubbles, so I want to be careful. Okay. And so then I'm going to glue it on here. I'm going to kind of glue it kind of sideways. I've got my hot glue heated up, but I'll probably put a little bit of regular glue on there too. Once I decide how I want to put it. Okay. And school's back in session for us. Today was my town here where I live in Oklahoma's first day back. when I was on my walk this morning. Okay, I'm just going to put a few things of that glue, and then I'll put my hot glue on there too. I hope I didn't get it too high. When I was on my walk this morning, I saw all the kids waiting to get on the bus. Okay. I'm trying to. Okay. So that's we got a little hat brim on there. We're going to put some stuff on top too. Okay, so we've got our hat brim. Hi, Sharon. Natalie, thank you for sprinkling. Dawn, I just think I feel like if you just brush it one way, yeah, I think you just get better crackle. Typically, that's always worked the best for me. But on bigger projects, the bigger the project, I feel like the harder it is to do that. So, you know, because you kind of have to keep going back and getting more paint, you know, so it can be kind of frustrating. Okay. I probably should have painted all the sides of that, but I think it's going to be covered, the little brim. I think it'll be fine. So, you could paint a face on this if you wanted, and I have painted Scarecrow faces before, but I'm not going to paint it today. I have one of our little mini Scarecrow kits, and so I'm just going to paint that and add that. But just know you can easily paint one yourself if you don't have one of these or have a cutout. So we're going to paint our mouth black first. My paper towels fell off. You know, your son starts on the 18th, Natalie. I feel like when I was in school, we started later. I feel like they start back way earlier now than we used to. Oh gosh, yeah. Our kids were out by the end of May. So they did get, they got all of June and July. So they had 2 months, and then, a little bit of August. But it does seem like they really go back early. And it used to be we went back after Labor Day. Does anybody remember that? It was like after Labor Day we went back to school. I swear that's how it was when I was in school. Okay, so I just have my little paintbrush. I don't have any more. If you have little makeup applicators, they work great on these pieces like this that are smaller, but I have used all my applicators and I don't have any more, so I'm just going to use a small paintbrush. And I love Scarecrow decor. I'm not huge on Halloween decor. I mean, I like some cute, little ghosts and things here and there, but I don't have a lot of Halloween decor, but I do love the scarecrows. Okay, so I've got that painted. Put that there to dry. And then there's 2 little eyes, and we will paint those while we have the black paint out. And then we'll hit that nose. Get that nose painted. It's always after the fair. Oh, it was always after the fair. That's a neat idea. Okay, Rhea, good. I'm glad it's not just me, because I'm like, am I like not remembering correctly? Brenda says that's when they start here after Labor Day. Yeah, I guess because they're trying to get all their days in and everything. I guess that's why they start back earlier. I don't know. Oh, they have to get a permission. Is that like a state fair that you're talking about? Or like, I assume? Diane says school starts the 27th here. They are out the end of May. Okay. Every day, yeah. Yeah, I always think about the kids though. And I tell you, we live like right in the middle of town. Right in the thick of it. And we have a school just right here by us, not far. So once school starts back, oh, I got to paint the nose. Once school starts back, you know that in the morning during drop-off, you don't go anywhere, you stay home. And in the afternoon at pickup for like an hour, there's an hour window, you stay home. I was just talking to my son about that last night. I went a few places with him, and I said, you know, tomorrow school starts back, so I got to remember that. It's just the traffic's bad. But just like I said, just usually during drop off and pickup. So just an hour in the morning and an hour in the afternoon. You got to steer clear. Okay, we're gonna get our nose painted. Now, when my kids were younger, we loved living here because it was close enough that if they needed to, they could walk home. So that was perfect. Okay, so there, that's painted. So our face is painted. We're going to give that nose some little stitches. Okay, and then we're just going to glue those on. I think I'm going to add some rosy cheeks to this guy. Let's grab my favorite pink, this ballet slipper from Waverly. And we're just going to put some rosy cheeks on here. If you don't, you know, and if you're not a huge fan of the rosy cheeks, then you could leave this off, but I always like to add rosy cheeks to my snowmen and my scarecrows. Okay. I almost need to kind of lay this on here just so I can kind of get a feel for this. Just going to kind of make some circles. Just so I know where to fill in for the rosy. Diana, the face kit is ours, and it's in our store, and I can add a link. I will add a link for anybody that's interested. We have large scarecrow faces, and then we have a smaller kit, a smaller face, and I'm using the smaller one, and they come in a set of 3. So you could do one yourself. You could share with your friends or your family, and everybody. 2 of your friends or family could make a scarecrow too. All you need is a base, and just put them right on there. Okay. So there's our, looks funny, but I promise it'll come together. And I'm going to blend a little bit of our ivory in. I don't know, I'm having terrible something with my eye. I think I have some hair or something that's blown in it. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to soften these cheeks up just a little bit. Just with a little bit of my ivory paint. You're not going to mess it up. If you get too much ivory on there, just go back in with your pink and just kind of swirl it. maybe cover this up here a little bit more. Okay. Okay, so softened them. And let's soften this just a little bit over here. Okay, I gotta let that go, or I'll be here working on that forever. Hi, Dawn. Okay. Now, we have that done. You can, maybe it's like an eyelash or something. Got that done. Now we're ready to start attaching. I think I'll just use my craft glue to put the face on. And I always like to start with the mouth. I'm going to kind of put it towards the very bottom. And it doesn't take, you know, very much of this glue. Just dab. And what I like to do, I'll show you, because these pieces are thin and you don't want, you know, you don't want to press them down on here and then have the glue come out on the sides. So I like to just take a paper towel. I'm sorry, you guys. Oh, something is just driving me bananas. And once I get the glue on there, I just kind of like gently press it down a little bit on my paper towel. And it'll press that glue down, but it kind of removes any excess that you have so it doesn't squish out, if that makes sense. That's a technical word, so it doesn't get squish out everywhere. Okay. Okay, and I just put this is how I kind of decide where to put my little rosy cheeks in the first place. That's why I held it up there. So then when I stick it on here, I know exactly where I want the mouth to go. We still need to do some work on the nose. So, but I'm going to lay the nose on here just so I can see where to put my eyes. Because I'm going to put the eyes in kind of close to the nose. Again, doesn't take a whole lot because these pieces are, you know, they're not very big and they're lightweight. And I like to put mine just kind of really close around the nose, okay? But that's where you add your creative touch and you do exactly what you want to do. Okay, let's add something to our nose here. I don't have a black marker, but I have a brown, so this thing, I'm just gonna go along the sides and kind of put like some little marks, like stitch marks, you know. Kind of subtle. I don't know if you can see them. They're not big, but just some little marks. Now, also, if I can pick it up, I think I'll add some Distress ink to the sides, and that kind of darkens that up. Thank you, Dawn. Oh gosh, I do. I love snowmen. This is just a brief break. Just a brief break from my snowman obsession. Okay, I'm just gonna go on the edge here. Maybe lightly on the top. Okay. And I like to paint and do this stuff on these things. And if you like, you play around with it, and if you get your nose done and you're like, don't like that, and I know I've done that. I do that a lot. Like, not crazy over that. I just repaint it. You know, you just start over. Just add another coat of paint and start again. Okay. And we're gonna pop this right in here. Okay. So there we've got his little face. Cute. Okay. I think when we get the stuff added to his hat, it's gonna make me happier. So I have, this is just a little sunflower that I have, like from one of our old kits, okay? And it's just a sunflower that I had on hand. And I painted it and glued it all together. And I'm just going to pop it on his hat, on that hat brim. I think I'm gonna put it right there. And if there's interest in the sunflowers, that is something that I could add. We could add these to the store for sure. We could add different sizes. So if you're like, hey, I'd like to have some sunflowers, just let me know in the comments, and I can add a sunflower kit to use on projects like this. I could add it to the store. Okay, so there's this little sunflower. I'm gonna have to do some hot glue too, because he's not gonna stay in place with just that glue. So just to hold him right now, we'll put some hot glue on there. Okay, so we got that. Now, we're gonna put some little, I don't think I'm gonna use straw. We're gonna put a bow on there, and I've got some other stuff. But you could use like, I'm trying to think like those little hula hoop. Have you seen the little the hula skirts at Dollar Tree? You can cut those up, and you can use that to look like straw. I have some, is it Excelsior? I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but I have some of that, and I'll show you what the bag looks like. And this is from Hobby Lobby, okay? And then it doesn't look like there's a ton in there, but this stuff goes a long way, and so I'm going to use this today because I already had it pulled out, so I thought we'll use that. Hi, Jenny. Thank you. That's right, Rhea. You can always paint over it, and I may or may not, you know, redo projects sometimes and do that and just paint over them when I get tired of something. So you can like have a long piece like that. And so we're just gonna, I'm trying to decide how I'm gonna, I think I'll glue a little bit underneath. Probably the best thing would have been to do is for me to glue this down before I put the rim of the hat on there. That would probably look a little bit better, but we're gonna try this too because I already glued this down. So we're just gonna try to add a little bit of hot glue up under the edge of that. Okay, and so I just kind of tucked it up underneath there, and you really can't tell. Okay, And then we'll add some on this side. And you can trim it up, you know, after you get it all on there. Just take your scissors and we'll trim it up. And I'm just adding like a little thin layer of hot glue right up next to the edge of that piece of wood. And then it just kind of looks like he's got, you know, straw kind of hanging out there. We'll add some to the top. Trim that off. We'll add some to the top up here before we do any more. Okay. So I have a little bow that I wanted to put up there. So let's add that first. I've got too many things going on. My desk is not big enough. So got some little fall berries. This came off of a fall pick. You know, just one of those things that I just kind of hold on to. I've got several strips. This is just material. Okay. And most of these are tea stained. I do some of my kits that I sell. Some of those come with material. So I always keep these tea stained little pieces of material around, and they're perfect for little bows. So you're just going to kind of stack all this up. And then we'll tie it up here in a second. Okay, you can just kind of tie it up just to make a simple little bow. It's not, you know, nothing fancy. Let's see if we've got some jute. Okay, and I thought we could add some of this on top. Since it's a scarecrow, we'll just kind of put a little thing of that in the middle. We'll try to put this around it, and then we'll flip it over and try to tie it. Okay, so when do you guys, so are you putting your fall decor out now? I would love to know. I've thought about it, but gosh, when it's 110 degrees outside, it's so hard for me, you know, to flip over to fall mode yet. But I know I've seen some people talk about, you know, getting their fall stuff out. And of course, Hobby Lobby's already got, you know, in the store, in Walmart and all the stores, they're already putting their fall out. So, okay. Isn't that cute? We'll trim it up a little bit. We'll trim it and we'll fluff it, because right now that's a little long. It's going to cover my sunflower. But do you leave your fall stuff out until Thanksgiving? I usually start, because we go to my mom's house for Thanksgiving, and so usually about the week before Thanksgiving, I start working on Christmas, just because when I come home from Thanksgiving at my mom's, I like to have my Christmas already out. So you put it out about mid-September. That's about right. Hi, Angie. Oh, I hope you're having a fun day with your grandbabies. Hi, Janet. Hi, Tammy. How are you? Thank you for sprinkling. Thank you for hopping on with us. Thank you, Patty. But I always like, and I know people are like, I can't believe you're already putting Christmas out. But like I said, it's nice to come home from, if you have Thanksgiving at your house, I totally get it. But it's nice to come home from Thanksgiving and have your Christmas up, because you're ready to go. So I think we'll put our little bow somewhere right there. But I think we need just some little sprigs of this. We're going to tuck a couple of these in here. Busy, yeah. I know, Diane, I know. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little, I know why they do it. I know why they put it out early, because, you know, people get ready for craft fairs, and people need those. They try to, they need to get ready early for the season. So I get it, but sometimes it's overwhelming when I walk in there and I don't want to think about that. I don't quite want to think about, fall yet or Christmas stuff yet. Okay. So we've got a couple of those little sprigs. Kind of put some hot glue right there. And then we're going to kind of hold that in place. And we may still have to trim up that bow a little bit, but that's okay. It's already 50. Is fall 50? 40, fall is 40% off. Is Christmas already on sale? Is that what you're saying? Is it already 50% off? Because once it goes 50% off, people really start buying it. Okay, we're going to trim this up. Okay. It's cute. I think he needs a little bit more, maybe a little bit more straw. We'll kind of tuck this in here. Kind of pull his straw to the side maybe, so it's not in front of his eyes. Okay, maybe we'll put a little bit on the top here. And also I want to darken the edges. That's the last thing I'll do. Hi, Edna. Okay, gosh, Christmas is 50% off. Wow. I don't know about you guys, but I know in my store, if there's something that I want or need for Christmas, I try to get it pretty quickly, because as soon as it goes 50% off, because people really start buying. Okay, I'm just going to put a little of this right here so you'll be able to see it. It's going to kind of peek up behind that sunflower. Okay. And there's our little bow. Cute. Okay, we'll add some dark around these edges to try to make them pop a little bit. So I'll go back with my Distress ink, and I just had it. Okay, here it is. I like to put this on the edges of the brim of his hat. These the sides that are showing. Kind of pull that in just a little bit, okay? So you can see already how it makes that brim kind of pop, right? It's not so white. And we'll do it up here. On the top. And then we're going to get all around these edges. Okay. And if you wanted to put like some across, on the surface of his face, you could do that too. helps. That dark on the edges kind of helps them pop a little bit. But there we go. There's our little scarecrow. It's cute. It's got his little scarecrow face on there. Oh, Bella, that's, I love it. I love it. Thank you, Edna. Janet says, Hobby Lobby is pretty to walk into. It has Christmas and fall out. Always sparkly and bright. Yeah. Thank you, Rhea. I went into Dollar Tree this morning and mine just had fall. I didn't see, they don't have any. I guess you're saying that by the 27th, they'll have all their Christmas out too. Yeah, they just had fall this morning, so. Thank you, Sharon. Oh, thank you, Dawn. I will add, I'll add the link to the small scarecrow faces. And then I know I saw at least one person say they were interested in sunflowers. So I will try to get a sunflower kit. It'll probably be just several, you know, different sizes of the sunflowers that you could use for projects like this. Thank you, Deanna. Thank you, Brenda. If you guys hopped on late, I'll tell you one more time. This board is from Dollar General. And it was $5. $5 from Dollar General. But you could use any surface. I've done these scarecrow faces on a pizza pan. I've done them on like a cutting board from Hobby Lobby. So just any flat surface. Hi, Natalia. Thank you for giving our scarecrow a name. I love it. Okay, good, Diane. You love the sunflowers. Okay, I'll work on a set of those. I will work on that. And I love sunflowers for fall too. Okay, guys, thanks for hanging out with me while we created our little scarecrow friend. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you guys were inspired. Everyone have a great weekend and stay safe in this heat. If you're getting rain, stay in and do some crafting. And I will see you guys again soon. Bye, guys.